everybody. Welcome in to WGLB AM 1230, AM 1230, 104.7 FM on the radio and on the video at Jed TV. Get your Jed TV app. This is Of Notoriety with Phil Potempa. Phil Potempa is on assignment today, but fear not. Tony Panek with my co-host, Luke Miiller.
Yeah, we're here. We're filling in.
We're filling in. We were here last week, and we're here this week, and we got a great show ahead of us here in this next half hour. This is the show, the podcast equivalent, the podcast
and broadcast,
as Sam Michael loves. So, podcast broadcast, equivalent to everything you read in your Post-Tribune. The articles really come to life on this show, and we couldn't do it without our generous underwriting by People's Bank and the Indiana Arts Commission, so we thank them for that. And we welcome you in today, if you're listening on the radio, watching on Jed TV, to this episode. We got a great episode because, Luke, we're all shook up here today.
We're all shook up.
And I literally were shaking before the show. I was like, all right, that's too much excitement. But
move the mic calm down.
Closer to your mouth.
We are all shook up. Is that good right there? Okay, I think we're good right there.
Good.
All right. Testing. 1, 2, 3.
Test. 1, 2, 3.
Test.
1, 2, 3.
There
now
we
we're good.
You're good there, Luke. You know, we get it right here eventually. But if you're watching on Jed TV, you can see all the things on the desk. We're not without props, even though Phil's not here. We're not without props, courtesy of, I had to get this from my mom, the Elvis mug, the Elvis Christmas ornament, and the Elvis coaster. Also with the big Elvis, the big guy behind us here, a stand-up Elvis here. But so we're all ready. Because we're talking about a great show coming to Theater Center in Munster, Indiana. This takes place Saturday, July 12th. So just a couple weeks or so as we're doing this live here in the studio. Saturday, July 12th at 7:30 p.m. Tyler Christopher returns in his tribute to Elvis, his long-awaited return to Theater at the Center. Luke, both you and I were there last time he came around. It was just a fantastic show.
It was wonderful. It was a sellout concert, all 400 seats.
And we got him back here today through the magic of our Zoom, I believe. Joey's got Tyler Christopher on the line. Tyler, are you there?
I'm here. How are you guys doing?
Tyler, that looks sweet right there.
The big guy. Now this is the real deal right here.
You got to get on Jet TV just for this, because we got Elvis in. Elvis is in the building. He hasn't left the building. He's in the building. Tyler, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Pretty good. Been a while since we last seen you. Now, before we get into
year and a half,
about a year and a half, it was a great show. We were excited to have you back here this July. Now, we'll get into the show and, of course, Elvis, of course. But for the folks at home, Tyler, maybe tell them a little about yourself.
Well, my name's Tyler Christopher, and I'm a internationally acclaimed Elvis tribute artist. I have been doing this professionally since I was 16 years old, and wow. I'm 35, so it's been a little while. But yeah, we just have a blast, man, doing the show and touring it around the country, and we're looking forward to being back. We loved the Theater at the Center and the folks there in Munster, and you guys got such a neat venue there, so we are looking forward to being back with you guys.
Now, Tyler, you hit him with the thank you very much already. Now, Tyler, how did it all start for you? I mean, the love of Elvis you've been doing since you were 16. What you got really into you wanted to do this in your life? Elvis tribute, of course, to the king himself. I mean, was there a song you heard one day on the radio like, man, this guy is amazing. I want to kind of follow in his footsteps here. What got it started for you?
Yeah, it's interesting. My dad was a really huge Elvis fan, and he unfortunately unexpectedly passed away when I was a young boy. I was just 2 days before I turned 6 years old, and but I have a lot of memories of watching the Elvis movies and listening to the records with my dad, and so Elvis was kind of like a connection, like a tether to my dad, and so that was kind of my initial attachment to it. And as I was growing up, man, I would just I'd sing along to those cassette tapes and CDs, and I'd put the movies in. I had a little VHS player and a TV in my room, and I would literally come home from school and lock myself in my room for hours just practicing Elvis. And that's kind of what how I kind of got started with it. And when I was 12 years old, I actually started doing like shows and talent shows in my local area. And when I was 16, I got spotted by a promoter, and he got me invited to a national competition in New York. And I was 16. I had no idea what I was doing on that kind of level. There were so many people there, and huge stage with a live band, and guys from all over the country that were doing this for a living. But I ended up winning that contest. And so after that, it just snowballed, and I've been doing it ever since. So.
Wow.
I mean, if you were 16 then, I mean, you're probably seeing all these different impersonators and tribute acts that are much older than you. I mean, how was it like probably being one of the youngest in the room then?
Young Elvis.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. There was like I say guys, you know, from their 20s to their 40s, that were doing this professionally and from all different parts of the world. And like I said, I was the newbie for sure. I was pretty green and scared to death on that big stage, but yeah, I guess to some extent, all the time practicing it growing up, and it somewhat came natural to me, I guess, and that kind of translated, I suppose, in that contest. And so yeah, so like I said, we've been having a blast with it ever since.
Now we got to talk about the gear, the outfits. I mean, Elvis known for his style, and Tyler, you're no different. Uh, is there a Elvis shop I don't know about somewhere? Where do you get all the cool outfits? Because you're wearing, of course, a great outfit right now, and plus you got a couple I see hanging there behind you. Oh, is there a one-stop shop or something like this?
It's a good question. There's a couple makers that make the exact replica costumes of Elvis for us tribute artists, and the main company that's been around forever is B&K Enterprises, they call it. They've been around. Actually, the same fella who did Elvis's embroidery on his jumpsuits worked for B&K for the longest time, up until just a couple years ago.
And there's
So
a
they
few
had all the
photos you could
original
show too,
patents.
Joe. There's a few photos you could show too of those outfits that you're talking about, Tyler.
Yeah, yeah, they have all the original patents for all the suits, and so yeah, we get all the exact replica suits from these companies, and yeah, they're fun. It's a fun perk of the job to get to wear all the cool bling outfits, right?
I kind of want just one of those for everyday wear, Luke. I think I would look good
I know, just
walking
like a
around.
robe, you just walk around.
I don't know if I would carry it well. Well, we are talking about, of course, the show coming to Theater Center in Munster, Indiana, Saturday, July 12th at 7:30 p.m. Tyler Christopher returns as a tribute to the king himself, Elvis, and we're seeing some photos here flash across our screen if you're watching on Jed TV of you in action there, Tyler. And man, oh man, I mean, that's uncanny there. I mean, it's. Do you ever look in the mirror and be like, just wow, I look so much like this guy? Does it still take you back to this very day?
That's funny because I don't know. I mean, I have people tell me that a lot and say that about the show. I mean, it's like anything else you do, I guess. You put a lot of time and effort into your trade or your career, and so you hope that pays off. But I don't know. I don't think I personally feel like, oh man, I appreciate the compliments from others, I guess, but I feel like Elvis was so unique, and he was such an amazing looking guy and had so much talent. I always try to do, the most authentic portrayal of him and tasteful tribute I can, but I don't know that I ever feel like personally I don't think anyone can live up to Elvis in my opinion, but we do our best for sure.
No, for sure. I think you do it very, very well because Elvis, once in a lifetime performer. I would argue, Tyler, and you may be a little biased here, but from me, from this standpoint, Luke, maybe you as well. Elvis, even to this very day in 2025, number one artist of, I mean, got to be up there when everybody still knows Elvis to this very day because it's folks like you, Tyler, keeping his memory alive. But Elvis, the Beatles, maybe one and two. I don't know really who else could put near the top there.
I mean, because like you said, the generational appeal as well, and that when looking this up before the show, I think he has the record for the most top 40 hits out of any musical artist. I think it's something like 114 top 40 hits. So, I mean, song after song, it was constantly popular, and everyone knew what they were.
Yeah. Tyler, do you have a favorite song, or is it they're like your children kind of in a sense? You can't really choose one.
That's a good question. Yeah, I mean, Elvis recorded 746 songs in his career. So, I mean, there's just so much material. It is hard for me to pick one. I think sometimes it depends on the mood, you're in and what you're vibing with. But some of my favorite material is there's so much Elvis material that is not the the mainstream A-side stuff you hear all the time. I mean, since he did put out so much material, it was impossible for all of them to be put on the A-side, right? And to be, I mean, he almost out did himself pushed his own songs off the chart sometimes from getting number one because he's had so many hits at one time. So some of I mean, there's so much good material that if you dig in that you don't hear all the time, that's almost, I love just as much as the mainstream hits.
Yeah, a lot of those B-sides. I mean, there's a whole catalog of Elvis maybe people don't know about as far as
Yeah.
songs go. And, he really just kind of transformed himself over the years. I mean, you had your young kind of jailhouse rock Elvis. Then, he did the whole Hawaiian Elvis, then the Las Vegas Elvis. I mean, I should have brought some Hawaiian leis here to hang on the desk as well because there's so much really that could go on with Elvis. I mean, talk about, talent there, Tyler. I mean, for an artist to do that, you kind of got to just keep on transforming yourself over time, right?
Yeah, and that's even you see that in the show. We start the show, and that's one thing we pride ourselves in with our show is not that nobody else does it, but you see a lot of Elvis tribute artists that would just do the 70s, the older years Elvis,
Yeah.
with the jumpsuit and stuff. But we do all eras of his career through the show, so you'll see that in the show. We start off with the young '50s Elvis, kind of the rocker rebel Elvis, with the flashy blazers and the slick back hair and stuff. And then as the show progresses, we get into the movie era. We do all those movie songs through the movies, like you're talking about with Blue Hawaii and
Yeah.
Viva Las Vegas and all that. And then after the intermission, we do transform into the '70s Vegas
Yeah.
jumpsuit era. And as you see that progress through the show, you do see the changes in appearance, the vocal style, the way he moved. He kept kind of evolving through that time. And yeah, so we do take pride in that with the show to be able to kind of take you on a journey through the career of Elvis.
Interesting fact too, going back to say Blue Hawaii and whatnot, that Elvis, despite his popularity, he never performed outside of North America. He had a couple concerts in Canada and of course in Hawaii, but other than that, never left the mainland. And that's despite arguably being the most famous music artist of all time.
Yeah.
No, for
Yeah,
sure.
it's really interesting. I think it's a testimony to, as you said, his fame. Unfortunately, a lot to do with his manager and all that kind of controversy. Why he didn't
Yeah.
leave the country. He desperately wanted to tour outside the country, but despite the fact that he never did, his popularity in those countries, in Europe and even Japan and all. I mean, those folks are huge Elvis fans. And we have people like that will travel into the country. We've met someone we've traveled out of the country but they're just massive Elvis fans, and it's like you said, he never even got to appear in those places.
It's interesting that when that movie came out a couple years ago, I don't know if you saw it, Tyler, or not, the new Elvis movie about a couple summers ago. I forget the name of the actor, but I thought he did a great job with him as well. But I learned some things in that movie. Of course, I don't know how accurate it was, but the Colonel Parker situation. I know Tom Hanks played Colonel Parker. Did you see that movie?
I did, yeah, I did. I
What you
thought it was
what you
done very
think of it?
well. I liked it. I
Yeah.
thought it was done very well. I think overall, they were accurate with of course it's Hollywood. They're
Yeah.
going to take
Yeah.
artistic liberties in certain places, So if you want to be very critical, there's small details that maybe were, some liberties were taken. But overall, I think they did a really good job portraying the story, that relationship with Elvis and Colonel Parker, and yeah, a lot of it was very well done.
Well,
I liked it.
it was interesting because like you think about Colonel Parker himself, and it's like, well, Elvis, of course, it was a double-edged sword because he helped the guy so much. It seems like in his career, getting him to the mainstream in those markets, but at the other end, the whole Vegas situation. I don't know what to make with it. I don't. Would we be talking about Elvis maybe if it wasn't for the Colonel? I don't know for sure there, Tyler, but the guy was for sure talented enough to carry himself. But it's all about that marketing, right?
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
I definitely think he got Elvis started and launched him into the mainstream. I think Elvis is, and you see this in the movie. I think the hard thing for Elvis is once he got to that point in his career and Colonel kind of started getting shady. And, I think Elvis at that point should have
Yeah.
kicked Parker out and switched, but Elvis was he was loyal to a fault. And
Yeah.
I think, loyalty is a great thing, but sometimes he was so loyal that he stuck with things when it was past its due time, and when it got to the point where it wasn't good for him anymore, I wish he would have, had the ability to kick him to the curb. But, you know, it's kind of part of the legend now, part of the story.
Yeah.
And just a reminder that we're talking to Tyler Christopher in his upcoming tribute to Elvis Presley coming to Theater at the Center.
I believe we have a graphic on that too. If we want to flash it on the Jet TV right now for folks Folks like to read sometimes, Luke,
Oh,
and
for sure.
they don't want to hear us talk. They just want to read, I guess, which
Yeah.
doesn't make sense for a radio show, I guess you could say. But yes, Tyler Christopher, tribute to Elvis, Saturday, July 12th at 7:30 p.m. Now, this is also paired with a great meal for the folks at 1040 Catering there. They whipped up a great menu for the evening if you want to buy the additional menu option there. I'm looking at it right now. We're talking corn chowder, a choice of either country fried steak or country fried chicken with country gravy. That's a lot of country going on there. Mashed potatoes, peas, biscuits and butter, and coconut cake. Now, Luke, I know you wanted Alphys's favorite treat.
I wanted the deep fried peanut butter and jelly. I petitioned as hard as I could.
Deep fried peanut butter and jelly. That would sound good, but maybe I guess at a marketing standpoint, they can't market that too well. But again, you could either call, there is a number as well for that. If I have it, Luke, you might know the number off the top of your head. I'm not sure. Right there on the thing. Meal reservations, 219-836-1930. Of course, for tickets for the show, 219-836-3255. That's 219-836-3255. Or, you know what? It's easy. Just visit theaterAtTheCenter.com to get your tickets today. And to the point about the deep fried PB&J, Tyler, I know you go in great detail for your shows. Did you ever really try one of these sandwiches? He also liked it was peanut butter and jelly, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever tried one of those deep fried?
Yeah, the peanut butter and banana sandwich. Yeah,
Banana sandwich,
That's it.
It is quite good. It's quite good, and actually, it has peanut butter, banana, and he put bacon on it.
Oh,
Very heart healthy.
And it's a deep fried sandwich, and then he would dip it in the jam. But that got started. He was on tour, and they were at a stop in Denver, Colorado, and they found this famous sub place in Denver, and they had that sandwich, and it was on a foot-long like hoagie roll. And so Elvis liked the place so much that he would get a hankering for it, and they'd be at Graceland, and he would call in his personal pilot. They'd fuel the jet up, and he'd take the guys, and they'd fly to Denver just to get sandwiches and turn around and fly back.
Wow. I tell you what, he was, again, dedicated to the sandwich there, too, as well.
Yeah.
Tyler, where can folks also find you on this? Are you on the social medias? People are more interested in your act as well?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You can find us under Tyler Christopher Productions, Facebook and Instagram. Facebook is probably the best way to keep up with our show schedule. That probably gets updated the most frequently. So check us out under Tyler Christopher Productions on Facebook and Instagram. And like I said, we're doing these shows all over the place, just about every single weekend. And so you're bound to catch us somewhere. And we try to switch the show up each time we do it with different songs and different costuming. And so you should hear something different every time.
And the show itself, I bet, Tyler, you seem like a guy that stays in shape. But the show itself, Elvis, was moving all about there throughout his career. It's probably a good workout. And those outfits, I'm sure, as well, right? I'm sure you get a great workout on stage.
Absolutely. Yeah, you have to, if you're going to portray Elvis in his prime, and like I said, he was very physical on stage, you have to stay in shape to be able to do that, and especially to sing while you're doing all that dancing and stuff.
I don't know how much one of those outfits weighs, but I'm sure it's not the lightest material. I'm sure there's a lot of action going on there. Well, we're excited for it. Luke, you got any more here?
Well, I was going to say as well that Elvis, when looking into it, he's quite superstitious, or rather was quite superstitious. For example, when he was getting dressed, he would start with his right sleeve in his shirt, right pant leg, his right sock, his right shoe, and then he'd start the exact same order on the left side.
Where'd you read this?
I believe it.
On the internet?
Oh, it was on the internet.
Tyler, is this true? Do you
have any superstitions like that, Tyler?
To be honest with you, I've never heard that one. And I've had you know how the internet is. There's all kinds of stuff on the internet. It's hard to know what to believe. But I have met a lot of his entourage and got to spend a lot of time with different ones who were in his band and toured with him and were part of the Memphis Mafia, kind of the close-knit group. And I've heard a lot of stories. That one I've never heard, so I don't know about that. I can't attest to that one.
How about that? Well, that's got to be, you bring up something right there, too. When you meet people that actually knew him in his life, I mean, how does that feel? Because they actually knew the man, and here you are portraying the man that they knew in person. I mean, is that kind of intimidating?
Yeah, definitely the first couple of times it happened for sure. But it's been great. It's been that's a highlight of my career to be able to say that I have performed in front of a lot of those ones and talked with them, and especially when they compliment you and tell you that they approve of the tribute you've done and that they thank you for paying tribute to their friend and that they enjoyed it. That's a huge compliment. That's probably the biggest compliment.
Yeah, I'm sure it's got to be a great honor. And now, Luke, with also something that he found online.
And this is
Is
quite
this true now too?
This is quite true. As
Okay.
I'm an identical
I'll
twin.
fact
I have
check
a twin
this.
brother, Zach, and it turns out that Elvis also had an identical twin brother. Unfortunately, he was stillborn as well, so
Yes,
he passed right then and there. But he did have an identical twin named Jesse, right?
correct. Yep, that's correct.
Mm-hmm.
You always wonder
Yeah,
what could be too. I mean, would Jesse be blessed with the talent of course, his brother
Yeah.
had? But Elvis, as you mentioned, loyalty, and boy, was he loyal to his manager, his family as well. Got a lot out of that movie too. I don't think there was ever going to be one. I mean, again, we sit here in 2025, and I don't think we have yet to come across artists so beloved and nationally known, internationally known too, as well as Elvis. Tyler, I don't think we're going to see it in our lifetimes.
I don't either. I think he was definitely one of a kind, and I think that level of star power that he had, I do think it was unique, and I agree. I don't know that we'll see that level again. And people ask me that question all the time. What is it about Elvis that continues to transcend generations and time? And I obviously his talent and he was just larger than life personality. But I think beyond that too is that I think he was just a really nice individual. I think he was a really kind guy. He really cared about people. He appreciated his fans and where he came from. He remained humble. So I also think that, you couple that personality with his talent, and I think that's what continues to endear him to people for such a long time.
Yeah, I know for sure. Well, Tyler, folks are going to get a chance to see you in Munster once again. One more time for the folks at home. Again, this is Saturday, July 12th, 7:30 p.m. show. Doors open at 7 for Tyler Christopher and a tribute to the king himself, Elvis Presley. Again, you can combine that with a great meal package from the folks at 1040 Catering there. 1040 Ridge Road, so it's easy to remember everything. Tickets, go to theateratthecenter.com, or you can call the phone number there. Thank you, Joey, for zooming in. My eyes aren't great at these as they used to be there. 219-836-3255. 219-836-3255. Tyler, anything else you want to share today for the folks at home?
I think that does it. Said I'm looking forward to being there with you all, and we really enjoyed it last time. I know we will again, and like I said, it'll be a different show than when we were there last time. We got different songs for you guys, and different outfits and everything. So we look forward to being there and having a fun time with everybody.
Watching the video, I wish I had hair like that, Luke. I mean,
Oh.
I gotta get some Elvis hair. Tyler, thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you. You guys have a good day.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
you
Thank
too.
you very much, as Luke would say. Now, Elvis, we can say officially, has left the building. I waited all show for that. Luke, I don't know, Joey, I don't know if you did you get that photo or not? I don't know if it came through as well at the end. Okay, maybe we could do this we got the power of Zoom here on I want to show this photo off. Because, Luke, Pierogi Fest happens every year in Whiting, Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to be in the lawnmower brigade, but there is a photo of me. And I don't know, Joey, I don't know if you could zoom into that right there.
Look at this.
You might
technology.
be able to. I know, this cutting edge technology.
Look at
I'll hold
this.
the phone nice and still. But, I kind of dabbled. I got my friend Rick Kubik let me borrow his Elvis costume, his Elvis outfit, I guess you could say. The jumpsuit, the traditional white jumpsuit. Look at that if you're watching on Jet TV.
Look
Got the
at
Hawaiian lays there, lawnmower, Viva Las Pierogi Fest. It's not as great as Tyler's. By far not as great as
The
Tyler's.
hairline's a little different.
Hey, and that was I think I got a better hairline now. I don't know. We got to
You've been
compare that
working
later.
on it, so I hear.
I've been working on it. It's a little. It takes a lot to make me look good to get a lot of stylists. But there I am with the jumpsuit. Those things aren't, and that one was probably not as heavy duty as Tyler got there. But those things aren't easy to maneuver around. And so Tyler and all the folks, great job with that. I mean, and you kind of did the slick back hair. You last show when
No.
Tyler was here, I remember you had the slick back hair.
We could try this again with my phone. It's going to take a while to get the photo. No, but yeah, tried to do the jailhouse rocker kind of look with the slick back hair.
So
the
many eras
greaser,
of
the
Elvis.
turtleneck and the leather jacket. So, no, there's a lot of different attires and eras and ways to emulate them. And it's so iconic, too.
As you can see, as he looks on behind us here, Elvis himself. But yeah, we're in for a great show again. July, right around the corner. If you're listening to this, it's tomorrow's July, right? So
Yeah.
if you're hearing a repeat of this, we're already in the month. July 12th is when the show is, Saturday, July 12th at 7:30. Get your tickets today. But Yeah, we saw him about a year and a half ago at the theater. Great show. And he will be back returning to Munster, Indiana. So we're very excited for that. Luke, before we leave here today, anything, closing remarks or whatnot?
Like you said, excited for the show, and it's going to be, for anyone who's seen it before, it's going to be new songs, new outfits. It's going to be a great show.
It's going to be a great show. A big show, as they say in the business. We thank everybody for joining us here inside the Strachan Van Til studios, listening on WGLB, watching on JED TV. Joey, thank you for producing this episode. Tyler, thank you for zooming in as we leave you here today. Everybody continue to have the great rest of your day, rest of the summer. It's hot out there. Stay cool. Until next time on OfNotoriety, we will see you. He's Luke Miiller. I'm Tony Panek. Take care, everybody.